In this video, we're going to look at how to answer a 12-mark question in the AQA GCSE History spec. The theme is Germany 1890 to 1945. The question we're going to focus on is: the war at sea was the main reason for Germany's defeat in the First World War. How far do you agree with this statement? Explain your answer. To answer the question, we're going to do it in 3 paragraphs. The first will be the reason why the war was lost to sea. The second will be why it wasn't lost to sea, and then the third, we'll answer the question and we'll make a decision. So paragraph 1. I think the trade blockade on Germany had a huge impact on their ability to fight and win the war at sea. This is because Britain was quick to capitalise on its naval supremacy and geographical position by establishing a trade blockade on Germany and its allies as soon as the war began. The Royal Navy's Grand Fleet patrolled the North Sea, laid mines and cut off access to the Channel, restricting the movements of the German High Seas Fleet. As a result of this, it prevented merchant ships from supplying Germany with raw materials and food. Over time, this led to an increasing food shortages for not only the army but also the wider German population. Therefore, this naval campaign had a critical influence on Germany's ability to keep fighting. And now we're going to look at paragraph 2, a reason why it was not lost at sea. Having to fight the war on 2 separate fronts is another reason Germany lost the war. This is because the Schlieffen Plan, which was the German army's plan to knock France out of the war before turning its military might in Russia, ultimately failed. As a result of this, it meant that Germany now had to fight against the Russians in the east and Britain and France in the west. The Russians mobilised within 10 days, which was sooner than expected, which put over 2 million soldiers into the field. This led to Germany having to spread its army resources more thinly against 2 large modern armies. Due to the industrialised nature of World War I, the war drew into a stalemate on both fronts, which, without any major breakthroughs from late 1914 until almost 1918, gradually became a major drain on the military and economic resources of Germany. Paragraph 3. Let's focus on the conclusion now. We'll answer the question. So, to conclude, even though the land war helped bring about Germany's defeat, I think it was lost because of what happened at sea. My most important reason is because Britain had its empire to rely on, who, when they entered the war, supported the trade blockade to Germany. This is evident when the United States entered the war in 1917, bringing well over 1 million troops with her. In the short term, it was German unrestricted submarine warfare that was a catalyst for the US's entry into the war, thus helping to tip the balance of men and materials into the Allies' favour. In the long term, the naval blockade helped to gradually starve Germany of the necessary resources needed to keep them in the war. Therefore, I think that, ultimately, as a land war was mostly static for many years, it was a war at sea that slowly wore away Germany's capacity to fight an effective war.